everyone, welcome to today's live. Hello everyone, can you please confirm if you can hear us?
That's fine. Either way.
Okay, we'll start in 2 minutes. Can you please confirm if we're audible?
I am able to hear you properly.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar on which sectors to invest in 2023. With economic recession simmering, people have gone jittery about what to invest and where to invest and how much to invest in 2023. So today we have with us an expert who will guide us through where and which sectors to invest in. Today we have Divam Sharma, the CEO and co-founder of Green Portfolio, who has more than 15 years of experience in stock market, and he has been investing ever since his 10th grade.
Hello everyone. Hi Ekta.
Hi,
Thank
welcome
you for having us.
joining us.
Yeah.
Divam, just a minute. I'll just get some confirmation if we are live. Okay, I think we're live. So a lot of our viewers, Divam, are salaried individuals, right? So they want to know how much of their salary portion should they invest in stocks. If you can guide us on that.
See, I think first of all, saving is very important, and you should all save because see, these are very volatile times, as we all know, right? The the cycles till which and COVID has told us this, that the time till which we can earn is limited, right? And our expenses can be uncertain. So we should definitely save. I think inflation has had a toll on everybody's salary of late, and the savings have come down for everyone. But try to save at least 20-25% of your income and invest it wisely in order to and when you invest, you should also consider inflation. So wherever you invest, you should consider that that investment should be able to at least beat the inflation. So at least I was reading through the 50-30-20 rule as well. So that's there on ClearTax. You could see that, and I would say that that's very much valid. 50% on your general expenditure, 30% on your extra expenditures, and 20% on your savings. So 20% on savings should be minimum.
Okay. So our viewers could be very beginners. Could you explain what is inflation and how much percentage of return should we earn to beat that inflation?
See, inflation is something in if we understand in very layman terms, like if I get some, I buy a bread. If I buy a bread and that comes, or a milk, and that comes at say 50 rupees a liter, and tomorrow if Amul increases the prices to say 52 or 54 because their cost of like raw material has increased, or their cost of transportation has increased, or their salaries, fixed expenses have increased. So that is inflation. So that 50 rupees a liter has become 52 rupees a liter. That is inflation, right? So why do we earn? We earn because we got to spend that money on our expenditures for our daily living, as well as our luxuries, as well as our exigencies. right? So when we save for the future, that our consumption. So whatever income we earn, some part of it we consume currently, and some part we consume in the future, right? And that future consumption, since so every year you would see some sort of inflation. So if you, even if we take that example of milk, that milk used to come at 10 rupees a liter, 15 rupees a liter a few years back. Now it is 50, 56, 58 rupees a liter, right? So that is inflation. So over the years, that inflation, so in every year that inflation adds on. So today, if I have to consume certain things and I have to spend 100 rupees on them, tomorrow I might have to spend 107 rupees on them or 108 rupees on them if the inflation is 7 to 8%. And that keeps on continuing. So if I am saving for my future consumption, I have to take care that in the future, at least my purchasing power is maintained, right? If I am able to buy X things with 100 rupees, tomorrow if the prices go to 100 and 107 and 108, 1 year down the line, then my savings, if I'm deferring my purchase, right? So my savings, my investment should be such which gives me returns that tomorrow with the same funds, like with the investment returns, I should be able to consume the same things at least. So the investment's main agenda is to beat inflation.
Yeah. So any specific percentage you would like to give to maintain, the this much return I need to maintain to be able to, like,
Yeah, in
maintain my
India,
purchasing power.
exactly. So in India, we have seen that inflation has been ranging from
6 to 7%.
yeah,
Yeah.
6 to 7%. Uh, so at least that should be the minimum like growth in your investments that you should look at.
Yeah. So considering this, so let's say I have a salary of 50,000, or let's say somebody has a salary of 1 lakh, then how should I plan my investment strategy? Like, what kind of portfolio should I build?
See, that depends a lot on which stage of life are you at. Early, early in your investment age, early in your age, and you have just started working, or or are near 30s. I think making a slightly risky investments, I would say, where like equities is more favorable for you, uh, because what equities does is over the long period, short periods in equities could be volatile, but over the long periods you are able to make uh, more alpha. So whatever returns you make on top of inflation, say, is an alpha. So you are able to make more alpha on your investments if you invest in equities over a long period. Like, say, if you look at Sensex over the last 40 years, since inception, Sensex has given around 15% CAGR. But that has not happened like in one single straight line. That some year it might be a negative return, some year it might be a 40-50% return. So it has been volatile, right? But if you spend more time with equities, you get average 15% CAGR, so through Sensex. So if you have a longer time horizon for your investments, equities is a better place to be at, because obviously you are not only able to beat inflation, but you are also able to generate some additional income. So having multiple sources of income is very important, and that if you have a good sustaining side income, plus if you are able to create a good corpus for yourself, what that does is that gives you additional confidence to do new things, to even retire early, to pursue your personal goals, right? So the time, as quickly as you reach your financial goals, it is good for you, right? But if you have a short term, if you have less time to for your investments, and you cannot afford, and your uh, age for earning income is like coming to a retirement age, right? Like, say you are in nearing your 60s, You might not have a regular salary income going forward, and you might and your risk appetite also falls because you have certain expenses that are coming up. So in those cases, it is advised that you go for fixed income, and that fixed income should also be something which at least maintains your purchasing parity and which at least gives you that kind of a return which beats inflation, right? So having a higher allocation towards equities, like say if you are earning 1 lakh rupees, I would say you should at least save 20-30%. If you are earning 50,000 rupees, you should at least save 20%. And if you're saving that much, majority part, if you're in your 30s or if you're in your 20s, majority part of it, say even 60-70% of it should be into equities. But if you're in your late, like 60s or something, it should be the opposite, right? So that should be that is what I would advise.
Yes.
So gradually, what should you should also do is like gradually when you're nearing retirement or your goal is nearing, you should gradually like my goal is 1 year down the line for which I am saving. Like there is some education expense or some marriage expense or some house I want to buy or whatever. So if I'm nearing my goal, I should be reallocating from equities to say fixed income when I'm nearing my goal, right? Say 6 months or 1 year down the line, because equity markets can be volatile, and if I'm like holding my equities till the end, it might be volatile, and I might not be able to sell at my desired value, right? So you should gradually plan your financial goals accordingly, and make an exit from equities and go to fixed income when you're nearing your goal.
Yeah. I hope viewers this was clear to you. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. We'll take it up later in the Q&A session. And also, Devam, while you were saying, like, Sensex has grown at this much CAGR, 40% CAGR over these many years. So we've always grown up thinking, patience is very important in stock market. And we've always grown up hearing if you had invested this much in this company, your money would have grown to this much, right? So, do you think with this volatile market, like this approach, this long-term investment approach continues to work, or will one have to look at active portfolio management?
See, first of all, time is very important in the markets. Nobody can become rich overnight, right?
Yes.
When we talk about rich investors from markets, from stock markets, who have consistently made wealth and over a long period of time, see, it's all about compounding, right? If I'm compounding consistently for say 40 years, 50 years at 20%, I will be super rich, right? Even if I start with a small capital, if I continuously compound and give it time, I will be super rich. But so if you look at rich investors, most of the rich investors in the world are long-term investors. Like I have heard very less of traders or who've been like churning their portfolios very frequently, uh, create that kind of a wealth from markets. So if you are there in the markets, you have to give it time. You have to be disciplined with your approach. So whatever approach you select, there are multiple ways to make money from the market. You have to be very disciplined in terms of your approach in the markets. But having said that, I was just going through the Sensex returns over the last 2 decades. So there has been a couple of very volatile time periods in the history. One was 2008 subprime crisis, when markets in Jan 2008 were 20,600 Sensex. I'm talking about in Feb 2009, like 1 year down, the markets fell from 20,600 to 8,900 points, right? And then from Feb 2009 to October 2010, which is 1.5 years down, the markets recovered and came back to 20,100. So from 20,600 in 2008 Jan, it went down to 8,900 in 2009 Feb, and then in 1.5 years it came back also. So this is the nature of market. It will not go in a straight line. It will go up and down, right? But if you stay in the market, so someone who would have stayed in the market would have come back. But someone who would have panicked in between
Hmm.
would have lost his money, booked losses, and would have not come back to the market.
But don't you think it would have also been stock specific?
Yeah, yeah, I'll talk about stocks also.
Yeah.
The same nature with stocks. Whatever is the nature with markets, the same nature with stocks also. It's the same kind of behavior, right? Stock might be slightly higher beta or lower beta, or moving slightly like more than the market or slightly less than the market, but it's almost the same behavior. So I'll tell you another thing. In December 2019, the markets were 41,600, right?
Hmm.
So first matlab, what I'm saying is from October 2010 it rose from 20,000 to 41,600, so it doubled in almost
A decade.
9 years,
Yeah.
right? So it gave continuous returns, right? If you look at it from a long term period, it will. So there is a probability thing. Like if you look at returns of investors who are invested for 1 year, there would be a lot of people who have made losses. If you would look at for all the investors returns for 3 years, the
Yeah.
probability of making losses reduces. But if you look at uh, returns of all the investors who have stayed in the market for 10 years, they everybody makes money, right? It's just that giving it time is very important. So again, another thing, December 2019 markets were 41,600. March 2020 COVID की वजह से markets came down to 29,900. So 41,600 से market came down to 29,900. बट इन नवंबर 21, मतलब 1.5 साल हुआ, मतलब मार्च 20 29,900 था, नवंबर 21 मार्केट्स केम टू 6,700.
Yes.
तो मार्केट्स ऑलमोस्ट डबल्ड इन 1 ईयर,
Yeah.
1.5 years. सो मतलब ऐसा होता है कि मार्केट्स कुछ पीरियड के लिए इट विल गिव अ वेरी सबड्यूड और नेगेटिव रिटर्न, बट कुछ पीरियड में वो ऐसा रिटर्न देता है कि इट विल कवर ऑल योर CAGR ऑफ पास्ट,
Yeah.
right? So holding it is very important. You can't nobody can predict with certainty. There are so many factors today. There are factors which you can't predict or you can't control. मतलब हमारे इंडिया में आज की डेट में क्या फैक्टर्स चल रहे हैं? मतलब इंडिया में फैक्टर्स चल रहे हैं, रशिया यूक्रेन, China is interfering something, US has something with somebody. So our factors are global these days, right?
Yeah.
You cannot predict all these factors. But if you look at it from a long term standpoint, it is consistently giving you returns and very good returns. मतलब इससे ज्यादा returns और कोई नहीं देता. मतलब even if you look at other asset classes, you look at gold, you look at FD, you look at any asset class, property, consistently जो सबसे ज्यादा आपको रिटर्न देगा that will be equities, but you have to stay with it. And same is the nature with individual equities. If you look at individual stocks, it has the same nature. मतलब बस उसमें एक एडिशनल लेग आ जाता है कि individual stocks में you have to continuously track the fundamentals. If there is a long term change in the fundamentals, if the है ना, अगर अगर शॉर्ट टर्म कुछ इम्पैक्ट आया कि मेरा भाई बिजनेस में थोड़े से मार्जिन कम हो गए, कि भाई कॉस्ट बढ़ गई है, या फिर मैं एक्सपोर्ट्स में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, या मेरी फैक्ट्री में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, शॉर्ट टर्म इम्पैक्ट दैट इज फाइन. इफ देयर इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट ऑन योर बिजनेस, है ना, कि जैसे ऐसा कुछ हो गया कि मेरा मेजर कस्टमर ही चला गया, या मेरा प्रोडक्ट में टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ चेंज हो गई, है ना, which has a long term impact on the business, then you will have to reconsider your investment, है ना.
Correct.
मतलब otherwise you will have to stay with it. मतलब if my business is continuously growing at 15-20%, if my business is earning 100 rupees today, 120 rupees next year, 140-50 rupees next year, so if my business is earning, my stock price will reflect those earnings, है ना. मतलब I will have to just stay with it. सो जो हम बोलते हैं कि इतने रिटर्न इन्फोसिस ने इतने रिटर्न कमाए, या फिर आइशर मोटर ने इतने रिटर्न कमाए, व्हाट इज इट? द अर्निंग्स केप्ट ऑन कंपाउंडिंग, एंड समवन हु वुड हैव होल्ड दो स्टॉक्स would have made those compounding returns over the years. So it is more about how long are you compounding and how much are you compounding. से आप वो कैलकुलेटर में भी डाल के देखोगे ना कि if I am compounding at 20% for 20 years, आप कोई भी नंबर डाल के देखो, you'll be surprised with the end result, है ना?
Correct.
That's more important.
Yeah. So, but when I say invest in stock, I cannot say कि मैं 10 साल इसमें रख के मैं like I'll sit free. I'll have to actively like track all of this.
You'll have to
There'll be
actively track.
yeah,
Situation is very like things are very dynamic these days.
correct.
Lot of technology changes are happening
Yes.
everywhere in every domain. If you are not innovating, see Sensex में भी अगर आप देखोगे index में जो leaders हैं they keep on changing. Like the leaders which are there in one decade change in the next decade. More than 70-80% are not there in Nifty anymore in the next decade.
Correct.
So stocks would keep on like so you will have to obviously go with the winners of the future because what is already there in the business is already discounted. But you have to look at winners of the future. So you have to evaluate your business for sure. You have to understand your business for sure. You have to evaluate the performance and outlook for sure. But if there is no long-term impairment in the business and you are certain that the income is going to grow by a good substantial CAGR, you have to just stay with it.
Okay. So, it requires a lot of good understanding of finance, economics, and you should be update with the markets, etc. So, me as a layman, how can I, keep a check on all of this? Like, can you give me some, if there are some resources or if some skill sets I need to develop, or it could be some ratios that I can track and say how the business is growing, or how can I track these?
सी सबसे पहले मतलब आई वुड तो आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आपको अगर स्विमिंग सीखनी है तो पानी में कूद जाओ, है ना? तो मतलब सबसे पहले तो आप इन्वेस्ट कर लो कुछ, है ना? मतलब जो भी आपको समझ में आ रहा है वो करके बेसिक अमाउंट से जस्ट स्टार्ट डूइंग इट, राइट? व्हेन यू डू इट, व्हेन योर मनी इज इन्वॉल्व्ड, देन यू विल ट्राई टू फर्दर रीड अबाउट इट एटलीस्ट. मतलब आइडली इन्वेस्टमेंट में ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, बट फर्स्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट इफ यू आर डूइंग यू शुड डू इट लाइक दिस. आइडली तो आप पहले रिसर्च करोगे फिर इन्वेस्ट करोगे, बट व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग योर फर्स्ट रिसर्च यू कूद जाओ पानी में, है ना? मतलब इफ यू ओवर थिंक, ओवर एनालाइज, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू मेक अ डिसीजन. once you go deep dive, so आप उसमें मतलब you'll have to read a lot about मतलब जो जो information available है about the company, just try to read about it. annual report पढ़ो on a continuing basis कि year 1, year 2, year 3 annual report में क्या trend है. मतलब what the company is saying on year 1, is it coming out in year 2, or is the management just saying, right? मतलब see investment में ना there are two things. One is quantitative analysis and one is qualitative analysis. So quantitative analysis तो आप financials पढ़ के कर सकते हो कि भाई मेरा डेट टू इक्विटी कितना है, मेरा ग्रोथ कितना है, मेरा मतलब वो सारे आप एनालिसिस कर सकते हो, है ना? उसमें यू विल हैव अ लॉट ऑफ टूल्स टू यूज एज वेल. मतलब फॉर रिटेल इन्वेस्टर है वो जैसे आप स्क्रीनर देख सकते हो, है ना? आप स्क्रीनर में रेगुलर बेसिस पे आप उसमें कंपेयर भी कर सकते हो, आप उसमें सर्टन रेशियोज को देख सकते हो, उसके बारे में पढ़ सकते हो. देन यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ क्वालिटेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स एज वेल, राइट? मतलब where you have to look at is my management good or not. If my management says something, I'm investing for the I'm investing in the future of the company. Whatever is there in the financials is already priced in. So if I'm looking at the future, I have to look at a lot of qualitative aspects कि मैं आगे आने वाले टाइम में अपने ब्रांड में इतना रीइन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, मैं आने वाले टाइम में ये R&D कर रहा हूँ, मैं आने वाले टाइम में ये केपेक्स कर रहा हूँ, है ना? कि आप if you are saying today I'm earning 100 rupees, tomorrow I'll earn 120 rupees, how would you do that? First of all, are you capable of doing that, है ना? Second, how would you do that? Are you taking some steps, like हम पढ़ाई में बोलते हैं ना, if I want to become a chartered accountant, are you taking those steps? Have you taken the coaching? Are you taking the training? Are you enrolling? Right? So you have to evaluate whether the management is उसमें कोई red flags तो नहीं है, या फिर management capable है कि नहीं है. Then you have to look at the steps, what the management is doing for the future, right? Then you have to also evaluate on the valuations, है ना? मतलब if I'm paying some amount for buying some business. I'm investing in the business. I'm not trading. I'm not looking at the share price. I'm investing in the business. See, there is also a way to earn money from markets by just looking at the share price and the charts. We do not do that. We look at the fundamentals and invest. So आप वो कर रहे हो तो आपको वैल्यूएशन देखनी है कि अगर मैं किसी बिजनेस को मैं क्या प्राइस में खरीद रहा हूँ, है ना, मतलब, एंड इज दैट मेकिंग सेंस, इज दैट लीविंग सम कुशन फॉर मी to make profits in the future. If I'm overpaying for a business, chances are that I might not be able to make my returns in the near future. है ना, मुझे ज्यादा टाइम के लिए और ज्यादा टाइम के लिए होल्ड करना पड़ेगा to be able to see that kind of growth in my investments. If I am underpaying or if I am getting at discount, so chances are I will make my money faster. है ना, तो markets again are एक्सुबरेंट. दे आर मतलब कभी वो अपने फंडामेंटल से बहुत ज्यादा वैल्यू पे चले जाते हैं, कभी अपने फंडामेंटल से बहुत नीचे वैल्यू पे आ जाते हैं. जैसे अभी जो टाइम है वो अपने फंडामेंटल से बहुत नीचे वैल्यू पे आ गए, मतलब दैट मींस दैट दे आर एट अ डिस्काउंट, राइट. सो आपको इस टाइम पे ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट करना है, और जब फंडामेंटल से बहुत ज्यादा वैल्यू पे चले जाते हैं उस टाइम पे आपको कम इन्वेस्ट करना है या इन्वेस्ट एग्जिट करना है ना. So this is how you do it, right? And then you continuously matlab first you have to, as a investor, you have to understand your style, and that has to resonate with your personality. Am I an aggressive guy who just wants to trade? Am I a guy who wants to invest and create wealth over long period term? What is my financial goal? उसके बेसिस पे आप अपना स्टाइल डिसाइड करोगे, एंड जो आपने स्टाइल डिसाइड किया वो आपको कंसिस्टेंटली मेंटेन करना है. यू शुड नॉट चेंज योर स्टाइल विद एवरी चेंज इन द मार्केट. मतलब ठीक है, लॉन्ग टर्म आपने कोई चेंज कर दिया, दैट इज फाइन, बट यू शुड नॉट कंसिस्टेंटली चेंज योर स्टाइल एवरी ईयर कि आज मार्केट में ये चल रहा है तो ये कर लेते हैं, है ना. मतलब वो और ज्यादा डेडली है, क्योंकि वहां पे आप मतलब यू विल कीप ऑन चेंजिंग स्टाइल बट यू विल नॉट मेक मनी. So I think that is the basic you should do while if you're starting off.
Yes, that was a lot in depth. Thank you, Devang. So recently, this budget 2023 was announced, right? So a lot of industries have been impacted. Like, what sectors people are looking at? What sectors to invest in 2023 to maximize their profits?
See, मतलब अगेन जो सेक्टर्स, अब अगर आप बजट को देखोगे तो what government did over the last two budgets is that they are focusing on growth, है ना. मतलब before that what used to happen was especially in election years a lot of subsidies were given. So जो बजट का एक्सपेंडिचर था वो लोगों की अपीजमेंट के लिए चला जाता था, राइट, कि टू अपीज द ब्रॉडर ऑडियंस. बट नाउ द टाइम्स हैव चेंज्ड. वी आर अपीजिंग नॉट द कॉमन पीपल, अपीजिंग देम in a way. मतलब obviously income tax slabs have been changed, etc., etc., but the more focus or more allocation is towards growth of the country, है ना. तो ग्रोथ ऑफ कंट्री सबसे पहले कैसे आती है? सबसे ज्यादा जीडीपी मल्टीप्लायर आता है जब व्हेन यू इन्वेस्ट इन योर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, है ना. जब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में इन्वेस्ट करते हो तो वो मतलब आप मजदूरों को भी लगाओगे, आप सारी चीजें खरीदोगे, आप वो पैसा फिर इन्वेस्ट होगा, वो मजदूर जाके कंज्यूम करेंगे, देन उसका जीडीपी मल्टीप्लायर इफेक्ट सबसे ज्यादा आता है इफ यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन योर इंफ्रा. सो गवर्नमेंट हैज बीन इंक्रीजिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ऑन इट्स इंफ्रा. और उस इंफ्रा इन्वेस्टमेंट से एक और फायदा होता है कि यू attract a lot of businesses and a lot of foreign direct investment, है ना. आप you will if you have good roads, if you have good infrastructure, good say industrial parks, you have good ports, you have good logistics. So if you have all that ecosystem, electricity, if you have all that ecosystem, you attract a lot of foreign capital and a lot of capital from domestic private sector to manufacture, to be able to export and to be able to consume domestically, है ना. तो एक तो हमारी पॉपुलेशन ऐसी है, डेमोग्राफिक्स, दैट वी आर like largest mid income level population in the world, and will continue to stay, and the youngest and highest contributor to labor in the world. मतलब हमारे पास सबसे ज्यादा लेबर है वर्ल्ड में,
Yeah.
मतलब लेबर इज नॉट दैट लेबर खाली काम करने वाली, मतलब मजदूर वाली नहीं, मतलब एवरीबडी इज अ लेबर, राइट? सो इन इकोनॉमिक्स, so we are, and we'll continue to stay so for over the next 40 years, है ना? तो if we are talking about such demographics, we have a very high consumption. If we have a large like mid income level, we are all aspirational, we have a very high consumption, तो हमारी domestic consumption बहुत ज्यादा है. दूसरा, चाइना एज अ फैक्टर प्ले कर रहा है, वेयर चाइना, nobody wants, people want to diversify from China,
China
and a
plays a
lot of
big role.
countries have issues with China, so they would not want to completely rely on them for their supply chain. So
Correct.
they want to diversify. So कौन कर सकता है? वो इंडिया कर सकता है, इतने स्केल पे, इतनी सस्ते में, that India can do. So India is getting that opportunity, and government wants to capitalize on that by creating that infrastructure. That's what China did in 97 and 2003, वो Asia financial crisis, or when they invested 2008, and when they invested a lot on their infrastructure. We are doing the same thing. We are investing on our infrastructure. That will attract capital, that will attract a lot of manufacturing, that will attract India to increase its export market share, that will attract India to restrict its imports. So that is the focus, right? So मतलब हमें ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब you have to look at a government, एक PLI करके एक स्कीम लाई है, जहाँ पे if you are manufacturing
Production.
if you're doing capex and manufacturing additionally under that license for the next, say whatever, 3 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
है ना, उस उतना उतने के लिए government will incentivize you with whatever additional you produce. Government will give you, say 5% to 15% of your additional revenues, है ना? तो वो, उससे क्या होगा कि you will come at economies of scale, you will upgrade your manufacturing, and you will compete with Chinese manufacturers. So मतलब वहाँ पे काफी सारी सेक्टर्स हमें अच्छे लगते हैं, फार्मा, केमिकल, वहाँ पे हमें ऑटो एंसिलरी अच्छा लगता है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स अच्छा लगता है ना, मतलब डिफेंस अच्छा लगता है. सो वो ऐसे सेक्टर्स हैं जहाँ पे यू विल डेफिनेटली सी, मतलब जैसे सपोज करो चाइना किसी चीज में 60% वर्ल्ड को एक्सपोर्ट करता है, और इंडिया से 4% एक्सपोर्ट करता है वर्ल्ड को. Even if we take 2% from China, like say 4 to 6 कर दिया हमने, we are talking about 50% growth of our existing uh,
Yeah.
sector, right? So the scope is huge. So we
Correct.
are going to see such kind of opportunities there. Then second, obviously infrastructure. Infrastructure पे जब focus है तो infrastructure and related things. So if you are like spending on infrastructure, अगर आप रोड बना रहे हो, तो सबसे ज्यादा आपको क्या चाहिए? सीमेंट,
Yeah.
स्टील. अगर आप
Steel.
ब्रिज बना रहे हो, है ना, तो उससे रिलेटेड सेक्टर्स, है ना, तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के जो ईपीसी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स हैं, प्लस सीमेंट, स्टील है, प्लस है ना, तो इससे रिलेटेड जो सेक्टर हो गए. देन डिजिटाइजेशन पे बहुत फोकस है, तो 5G.
Yeah.
देन इथेनॉल. इथेनॉल जब हम इंपोर्ट को रेस्ट्रिक्ट करना चाहते हैं, हमारी इकोनॉमी को और बेटर बनाना चाहते हैं, तो इथेनॉल. देन ग्रीन एनर्जी. सो ग्रीन एनर्जी इज अगेन इन,
Yeah.
that is the future, right? So a lot of capital is being raised for green energy globally through issuing bonds, green bonds. So that is again uh, a sector to look at. So lot of sectors, I think बहुत सारी opportunity है. अभी तो market इतना गिर गया, बहुत कुछ बहुत सस्ते में मिल रहा है. बट ये है कि हमें इस टाइम पे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. मतलब हम यूजुअली क्या करते हैं, वी इन्वेस्ट व्हेन द मार्केट्स आर एट देयर पीक, है ना. वो जब ओवर वैल्यूएशन दिख रही होती है ना, तब हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. जब अंडर वैल्यूएशन दिख रही होती है, तब सब घबरा जाते हैं. सो आई थिंक द आइडिया इज टू इन्वेस्ट व्हेन द टाइम इज राइट, एंड डू इट विद अ टाइम होराइजन ऑफ से 2 to 3 years. अब मार्केट साइकिल बहुत छोटी हो गई, आपको ज्यादा 2-3 साल भी इन्वेस्ट करोगे तो आपको अच्छे रिटर्न आ जाएंगे. बट आप 1-1.5 साल में घबराओ मत. मतलब मार्केट कई बार ऐसा भी कर सकता है कि 100 रुपीज आपने इन्वेस्ट करे, वो 80 हो गए, बट आप वो अगर एग्जिट कर जाओगे तो आप 20 रुपीज का लॉस बुक कर लोगे. तो आप एग्जिट नहीं करोगे, आपका स्टॉक अच्छा है, वो कंपनी अच्छा कर रही है, तो वो वापस भी आ जाएगा और वो ऊपर भी चला जाएगा. मतलब जैसे हमने वो 2008 में देखा कि एक साल में वो 20,000 से 8,000 आ गया, फिर 1 साल 1.5 साल में वो 8,000 से 20,000 आ गया. It will not take much time, but obviously psychology, we tend to get scared, right? मतलब we have to just understand where are we investing.
So, Divam, you suggest that themes like infrastructure, green energy, cement, like ancillary, auto ancillary, and defense, all of these are your focus sectors. And people should stay invested for a longer time in these.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. And coming to, so let's see if we have some questions. So until then you were talking about आप बोल रहे थे कि जब मार्केट बढ़ता है like we invest then. So now the market is seeing a bearish trend. So can you talk about like what's happening in the market and why we are seeing the red candles, and also should you invest or should you wait for some more time?
See, red candles. एक तो वैलेंटाइन डे आया था अभी रिसेंटली. So, so see, red candles. मतलब there are some global factors that are impacting, right? मतलब एक तो टसल चल रही है. क्या होता है कि जब इंटरेस्ट रेट नीचे जाते हैं
Correct.
तो मार्केट ऊपर जाता है. जब इंटरेस्ट रेट ऊपर जाते हैं तो मार्केट नीचे जाता है. ठीक है. सो 2020 2021 कोविड के टाइम पे इंटरेस्ट रेट ड्रास्टिकली नीचे आए, मार्केट ऊपर चला गया, है ना. अब लास्ट एक साल में इंटरेस्ट रेट ऊपर जा रहे थे, एक डेढ़ साल में तो मार्केट नीचे जा रहा था. सिंपल. क्योंकि मतलब सिर्फ जो लार्ज फंड्स हैं, दे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट दे गेट एन ऑल्टरनेटिव, राइट. एक तो इंटरेस्ट रेट ऊपर कब जा रहे होते हैं जब आपको लिक्विडिटी कंट्रोल करनी है मार्केट से, आपको, है ना, थिंग्स आर गोइंग सो. तो आप जब इंटरेस्ट रेट ऊपर जा रहा होता है, आपको बाजार में 8% 7% आपको एफडी, आपको फिक्स इनकम में मिल रहा है. सो यू विल नॉट गो इनटू रिस्की एसेट क्लासेस like equities. But when it's the opposite, when interest rate starts falling, you will have to allocate to risky asset classes to be able to beat the. So matlab, you know that the fixed income interest rate will fall from 8 to 6, or so you will reallocate to equities. So that's what happens when interest rates goes down. So abhi everybody knows that we are almost reaching the peak of interest rates.
Right.
Very like tough to go like more than 50 basis points from here, है ना. यूएस में भी, इंडिया में भी. तो हम अगर वहां पे आ गए तो वहां से अब वापस की जर्नी चालू हो जाएगी. सो व्हेनेवर इट स्टार्ट्स फॉलिंग डाउन, मार्केट्स विल गो अप. एंड मार्केट्स यूजुअली फंडामेंटल से मतलब 4-6 महीने अहेड चलता है. तो जैसे अगर मैं एंटिसिपेट कर रहा हूँ कि अगले भाई दिसंबर से यूएस फेड इंटरेस्ट रेट घटाने शुरू कर देगा, तो उससे 4-5 महीने पहले से ही मार्केट रैली करनी शुरू हो जाएगी, है ना. तो अभी अभी एक तो वो अनसर्टेनिटी है, वो कब से होगा कि इंटरेस्ट रेट कब से घटने शुरू होंगे. दूसरा इन्फ्लेशन कंटिन्यूज टू बी स्टिकी एंड एवरीबडी नोज दैट इट विल कंटिन्यू टू स्टे स्टिकी. एंड है ना, मतलब तो अगर इन्फ्लेशन अगर कम आ जाती है ड्रास्टिकली, तो इंटरेस्ट रेट भी वो घटाना शुरू कर देंगे फेड, और वो मतलब सब कोरिलेटेड है ना. थर्ड इज इंटरनेशनल जो ये चीजें चल रही है, मतलब, है ना. तो स्पेशली रशिया यूक्रेन, रशिया यूएसए, है ना, चाइना ऑल्सो हैविंग विद ताइवान एंड यूएसए. सो ये जो ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी, ग्लोबल जो ये चल रही है टसल बिटवीन कंट्रीज, and that is impacting the supply chains, that is impacting the globalization terms. So we are going to a different regime. We are actually shifting to a different regime, where from a globalization we are going to a re-globalization. From from outsourcing our manufacturing, we will try to do more of in-house manufacturing, है ना. तो ये कंसर्न है, मतलब कि क्या होगा आगे, है ना. मतलब अनसर्टेनिटीज. सो प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा इंडिया में नहीं है, इंडिया इज स्टिल स्टेबल. प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमीज में है, जिन्होंने कभी भी इतनी इन्फ्लेशन नहीं देखी और इतना ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट रेट नहीं देखा, है ना. मतलब स्पेशली यूके, यूरोप, they never saw this kind of a inflation since the last 4-5 decades, and they never saw this kind of an interest rate. So they are facing more trouble because they do not save. अच्छा, मतलब ये अच्छा correlation बन गया. Say you were saying, see, there the savings were not there. India, if you look at the savings are there. India almost 30-35% अपनी इनकम का सेव करता है.
Correct.
यूके में नहीं है, यू कंज्यूम इट.
Hmm.
And when you do not have savings, you go check to check. And when you lose your job, you
Hmm.
are on the streets. You depend on government, and then government has to cut its expenditure and give to you. And that's what creates uncertainty, है ना. एक फिफ्थ चीज ये है कि क्रूड की भी काफी, क्रूड और कमोडिटीज की काफी अनसर्टेनिटी है. मतलब there are volatilities around the price of very important commodities which are increasing inflation, and there is uncertainty around it. If crude goes from $80 to $120, markets will fall. If crude goes from 80 to 60, markets will rise. So crude is again a factor which is impacting the market. It has become volatile with anticipation कि China open हो गया तो crude can go up and all that. So there are multiple factors, but see, these will keep on evolving. There will always be some factors, है ना. मतलब आपको बस इन्वेस्टेड रहना है. आप नहीं प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते कि कब मार्केट यहाँ से रिवर्स करेगा. एंड वी फील दैट इट शुड रिवर्स सूनर, क्योंकि वी हैव ऑलरेडी फॉलन फॉर 1.5 years. वो जो मैं बता रहा था कि डेढ़ साल में मार्केट अपना ट्रेंड रिवर्स कर लेता है ना. तो 1.5 साल ऑलरेडी हो चुका है हमें इस ट्रेंड में. सो वी फील दैट इट विल रिवर्स सूनर देन लेटर. एंड यू शुड स्टे इन्वेस्टेड. ग्रेजुअली इन्वेस्ट करते रहो. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एग्रेसिवली जाके इन्वेस्ट करो. लेवरेज मत करो, है ना. जब मार्केट एकदम से आपको फॉल दिखे, रेड कैंडल्स आर गुड. यू शुड इन्वेस्ट इन दोज रेड कैंडल्स इफ यू आर कन्विंस्ड अबाउट योर स्टॉक्स और
But
योर
in a staggered manner is what you suggest.
in a staggered manner. That is very important. And do not leverage and stay disciplined. मतलब do not panic. You should be prepared कि वॉरेन बफे बोलते हैं, वो तो बल्कि थोड़ा सा एग्रेसिवली बोलते हैं. If you can't see your stocks going down say 50%, you should not invest in markets only. वो वॉरेन बफे तो ये बोलते हैं, है ना. तो मतलब आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट यू, बट मतलब 20-30% अगर आपको दिखता है, आई थिंक if you have cash, you should allocate some more, but stay invested. मतलब if you exit, you will book your loss and you will go and you will always regret. But markets will keep on going up.
Yes. So, Divam, before we wrap up, is there any advice that you have for our viewers who are, thinking of investing in? Is there any important things, or is there any important thing that they should keep in mind while investing?
See, I have मतलब बहुत ज्यादा मतलब ओवर थिंक करने की जरूरत नहीं है when you are investing, right? You will have so many factors that can scare you, that will scare you. You will have so many people that will scare you कि ये हो सकता है, ये हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा. But those who have, you have to keep it simple. जो सबसे लेजी इन्वेस्टर है ना मार्केट में, लेजी इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्टेइंग इन्वेस्टेड फॉर लॉन्ग, नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ नॉट कीप ऑन इवेल्युएटिंग योर स्टॉक्स, बट जो सबसे लेजी इन्वेस्टर सबसे ज्यादा पैसा कमाता है. तो यू हैव टू, अगर आप जैसे आप कहीं पे भी आप SIP के थ्रू इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, आप करे जा रहे हो, यू विल डेफिनेटली मेक मनी, है ना. बट वो जगह जहां आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, यू हैव टू लुक एट दैट, यू हैव टू कंटिन्यूअसली इवैल्यूएट दैट कि इज इट द राइट प्लेस और नॉट, है ना. एंड equities is the only place where you can invest and create 15% plus returns on a continuing basis for next many years, right? So this will give you the highest returns for sure. मतलब और कोई एसेट क्लास नहीं है, वो कोई एसेट क्लास किसी एक साल में आपको ज्यादा रिटर्न शायद दे दे, बट लेकिन इफ यू लुक एट फ्रॉम अ लॉन्ग टर्म स्टैंड पॉइंट, दिस विल कंसिस्टेंटली गिव यू द हाईएस्ट पॉसिबल रिटर्न्स, है ना. इन इन एन ऑर्गेनाइज्ड मैनर. Unorganized आप कहीं से भी रिटर्न कमा सकते हो, but in an organized manner this will give you the highest return. So you have to stay invested in equities, you have to stay disciplined, and you have to continuously evaluate, and do not keep on changing with your thought process. So I think that is very important.
Yes. So thank you so much, Devam. That was a wonderful session. I hope viewers benefited from this. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll get back to you on them. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Devam. Thank you.